1 year after President Tinubu's supporters faithfully believe that the renewed hope policies of his administration are becoming a reality in improving the lives of Nigerian citizens, therefore focusing on the 2027 election for a second term. However, human rights activist Senator Shehu Sani has alleged that recent Salah visits by prominent northern politicians to former President Muhammadu Buhari at his Daura residence in Katsina State were strategic moves aimed at undermining President Bola Tinubu in the 2027 general election. It will be recalled that in recent days, several northern political figures, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, ex-Governor Aminu Tambuwal of Sokoto, and ex-Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State, have visited Buhari in his hometown. Sani asserted that the visits, ostensibly for Eid homage, have a deeper political significance. Joining us now on the show is Teso David Ukechir, convener, grassroots support for Tinubu 2027. Good morning, Mr. Ukechir, and welcome to the morning show.
Thank you very much for giving me this great opportunity.
All right,
Appreciate.
Mr. Ukechir, I see you're ready. I can see the cap already. You're ready for 2027. But let's even talk about 2023 to 2024, since your candidate, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom you're supporting and already starting in full gear, support for 2027, how well he's done. Let's evaluate that. You say that his renewed hope policies have been, they seem to be hitting the right mark, hitting the right spot. But would you say that you envisioned a Nigeria where we have high inflation rates, higher than when he came into office? The value of the naira in terms of the exchange rate in disarray since he came into office, and a few other policies, the removal of fuel subsidy and the attendant effect on Nigerians since he came into office. In fact, I believe it was a former chieftain of the APC who had said that the only way that he would win an election in 2027 would be if he rigged the election. What's your take on these things before we look ahead to 2027?
Okay, so let's get something something very simple straight here. President Tinubu did Nigerians a favor by telling Nigerians the truth that there is not going to be more subsidy. But who removed subsidy? It was President Buhari. Respectfully, an elder statesman. But I think he did not do the country well. My question is, 2 years to his second tenure, why didn't he remove the subsidy? Because there was no budget. Okay, there was no budget. There was no money meant for subsidy. So we get this thing wrong. When President came in and said, no more subsidy, he was telling us the truth. He told us, he did us a favor so that we don't have high expectation. There was no money for it. So when we say that, so look, the president, okay, is giving his best, looking at what the former president left behind. And I look at this being mean because I feel that the former administration did not look into this very well. I want to be careful the way I use my words because President Buhari is a very respectful person. But I want to say the truth. He didn't mean well for the country, because you see, a new president is coming in. Things were so very bad. The economy had crumbled. Let's say the truth. Why didn't he prepare the country, provide things that could give succor, could make life easy for the common people before not budgeting for subsidy? That's one. So I want to correct that impression. And talking about the currency, talking about inflation, all of that. I mean, the President Buhari's tenure, the country we were under recession every day, every week. So you have a president has come in with a country that was shattered and broken, night and day doing his best to be able to put it together.
Okay.
And let's not forget.
Okay, Mr. Teso.
Thank you.
Let's set the facts straight because it's a public television and the facts reign supreme. Mr. Teso, the first statement you made that was not correct. Very well. God bless you. That was factually incorrect. You said when the president came in, there was no budget for subsidy. That's not true. According to the 19th of August 2022, FG said they were to end subsidy at the end of June 2023. The president came in May 29th. There was still about a month more based on the budget for subsidy. Secondly, you said under Buhari's regime we had a recession every week. That's not also factually incorrect. We had recessions, yes, but it was not every week. Thirdly, I'd like to ask, do we still have...
I exaggerated that.
No, okay, good you clarified that was an exaggeration. Thirdly, President Tinubu said he had pulled out subsidy, but as we speak today, we're still paying subsidy. Because when you look at the prevailing price on the West African coast, it's over 1,000 for a liter of petrol, and we're still paying about 700. Recently, the government released a document called the Reset Document, where they put in themselves that over 5 trillion was a mark for subsidy payments. But they had to withdraw that document, but subsidy payment is still been going on. Many government parasites, the Minister of Finance recently was asked about subsidy payment. He tried to wriggle his way around it. At a ministerial program, the Minister of Oil and Gas did say, officially, we are paying subsidy. So subsidy is still being paid. As we speak today, what has President Tinubu given Nigerians as regards this is Renewed Hope campaign? He has added 11% inflation to our country as we speak today. Inflation is at an all-time high. Can you respond to all of those things?
Oh, yeah, sure. He has given a lot to us. Look, I can tell you that the level of insecurity has reduced drastically. Because of the rusty house we had before he came in as president, you might or we might not see the effects immediately, but trust me, he's doing a lot, and a lot has been done. So let me give you an example. There was an incident recently in Abuja where a brigadier general was killed, and kudos to the CP FCT. Within 2 days, those bad people were caught. Okay, I do not want to, and the president is not living in denial that things are difficult. Yes, things are. Okay, there are challenges. But the question is this: is he trying his best? Is he doing his best? Is he giving his best? Yes. We might not see, we might not see the effect immediately, okay? But things have been done. And then this brings me back to, if someone tells me that Gary is so expensive, yes. Yam is expensive, cooking material, foods is expensive. What are the governors doing? What are the governors doing? Why do we have to put everything on the table of Mr. President? What are the governors doing? This is a simple question we should ask. What states is producing what? What is making the food, a tube of yam expensive, for instance? What's making beans expensive, for instance? The local double taxation by state government, by hoodlums. You see, look, all I'm trying to say is this. Others have responsibility. Can we focus on that as well? Can we question the governors? What are they doing in their state? What is the deliberate policy to say that we draw down or break down or reduce the cost of food materials so that the economy, Nigerians will be able to feed themselves? It's not only Mr. President. It's not.
All right, okay. Mr. Ukechir, thank you.
Course,
would you not say this is blame shifting? The administration, President Tinubu's administration, has consistently said, oh, it is Buhari's administration that has put us where we are. Now you're saying, oh, the governors should take responsibility.
He has never complained.
Hold on a second, hold on. I hear you, and you're saying the blame should be shifted. The governor should take responsibility, which I do agree with you that the subnationals have a role to play. But let me ask you, from your name, if I can take it that way, you're from the Middle Belt, Benue, if I'm correct. Have the farmers in Benue State or in Taraba State, are rich, country, the food basket of the nation, have they been able to go back to their farms? Because now this time, security is the president's responsibility in terms of he's the chief security officer of the country. Have the farmers been able to go back to their farms? And then the second thing, because that's one of the reasons why we have such high food inflation, the fact that one of it is that farmers cannot go to their farms. We don't have food produce, and so people don't have enough to eat. Prices have gone up. That's one question for you. Then number two, looking forward, 2027. Are you working under? Are you working under any mandate, or you're just governing a group of young people who are concerned and who have already seen from the first year of his administration that he's definitely the man, for the job in 2027? So, what are some of the things that you're looking forward to happening ahead of 2027 from this administration?
Okay, okay. You asked a very good question. The insecurity in, you mentioned Benue and Taraba. As I speak with you, farmers are back to their farms, but the question is, do they have the right tools to go to the farm? Okay? Are the governors providing the right soft landing for farmers? Okay? Now, show me one governor who has decided to say, you know what, not the federal government, now Minister of Agriculture, that in my state, I'm going to put aside this amount of money for a first quarter, a second quarter, just to open farmlands for farmers. And let me speak with the IG, let me speak with the security guys, make sure that my people are able to go to the farm. I'm just saying that if the federal government wasn't doing this, none of them, including my state, none. Look, so what I'm saying here is this. Your question was, maybe because it's because of insecurity that yes, food is expensive, but it's not because of insecurity. If you look at Benue State, how many local governments do we have? If the insecurity was there at the moment, which I know there's none actually, but you have pockets of insecurity everywhere. Now, is it all the local governments, the few that are free of insecurity? What is the governor doing about it? Making the environment conducive for the local farmers to farm, or the roads leading to the farms.
Well, just straight question here.
So the question here is
Mr. Ukechir, because you're here for the president, not the governor, so speak for your candidate. Are you satisfied with the way that he's handled security or tackled security? I am
satisfied. I'm just, look.
Okay, you're satisfied. Next question, please. Ahead of 2027.
I am satisfied. Okay. Governance.
Okay, yeah,
governance
so I hear you.
Collective.
All right, I hear you, Mr. Ukechir. Yeah. So second question, because of our time. Second question, plans for 2027. Yeah. What are his plans for 2027? Or what's the strength of your conviction in terms of your grassroots support for Tinubu 2027?
Okay, so my conviction, he means well for Nigeria, and he's the only person that will be able to, bring us out of the pit hole that we found ourselves, from the past administrations and others. And look, I'm not taking brief for Mr. President. He has never complained about the former president, but I know that the former administration failed woefully, did very, very bad. This has affected his administration 1 year and all, but he's doing his best. So I'm convinced convinced and convicted that my president is, President Tinubu is the only person right now in the next 8 years that will be able to, bring us back on track, make Nigeria the most attractive place to destination for all business around the world. So I'm very convinced. And that's why, 1 minute, that's why, just a second, that's why I'm spending my resources building boreholes around the country, build billboards around the country, taking the messages of hope and orientation to the people that, that's why I'm spending my resources to do that. I'm convinced. I'm not sponsored by anyone. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Ukechir. Okay, a couple of things. Tell me. Before you look at the next level, you have to look at what you have done. President Tinubu promised CNG buses. Where are the buses? Have we had a rollout? President Tinubu promised palliatives. Where are the palliatives? President Tinubu promised better economy. We have over 11% inflation rate from 22% when he got power to over 33.9%. President Tinubu...
Give you timeline,
hang on a minute. Let me finish, please. President Tinubu promised, the CNG bus he promised was within a 1-year timeline between last year and now. The palliatives, these soft loans for small businesses, where are they? The president promised. Also, the president promised, a stable, enabling environment for businesses. But GSK and most businesses have left Nigeria. Microsoft too, packing their bags. Most of these companies are leaving. So the question is, all the things President Tinubu announced as promises mid-year last year, to be able to cushion the effect of the economy. He promised 100,000, 150,000 hectares farming across states of the Federation. Where are the farms? President Tinubu also promised from the National Grain Reserve food to the people. Where is the food? With all of this that he has not done from his own promises, make a case why he should be voted in 2027.
He provided student loans for the students across the country. Why don't we focus on that? Simple things that others couldn't do. In other words, a civil servant who has a daughter could now take a loan and complete her education. Why are we not focusing on that? And I'm very aware that the federal government, Federal Ministry of Agriculture, for instance, I don't have the details now, but it was in the news. I mean, clearing of farmlands and in other parts of the country. So if I plant rice now, probably I need 1 month or 2 months for that rice to for me to harvest. So are you saying that if those things are being done, that just because that the harvest we have not harvested it, it means that he's not doing that? No, he's doing that.
Okay.
So why don't we focus on the things that he has done?
Okay. So let's talk about the student loan scheme.
Currently on your channels, on Rufai, just a second. I believe that there was a program on your, I'm not sure, but I mean, you have in Lagos, Mecano Motors or what, the factories in Lagos now, manufacturing vehicles or, producing vehicles that, uses. So these things are happening. It takes time.
Okay. Wait a minute. It takes time. Wait a minute, Teso. So, good. We're having an interaction. I love you. I love you so much. We're having an interaction. Good.
Thank you. Same here. I love you greatly. I'm your fan, yeah.
I'm your fan too. So you talked about the factories producing the car. How many CNG buses has come out to the market and how many has ameliorated the plight of working people? You should be able to give me stats. Secondly, you talk about student loans.
So I don't
the student loan was just passed recently, but there was a story in the news this morning talking about that for state universities and enrollees, the system has been stalled to be able to look at things. How many people do you know that have benefited it? The announcement of the clearing of farm and planting 150,000 hectares per state was made mid last year, when the president also announced that we're going to stall the price of petrol so that it will not increase in the price. So from last year to now, where is the food? That's just all I'm asking. So let's give facts.
Okay. the foods are in the market. The foods are there, you know, and because of and one of the reasons why our food is expensive now in the market as well is because the bad roads. I mean, a truck moving from Maiduguri down to Onitsha, for instance, just the price of transportation is unbearable. So are you now telling me that is Mr. President that couldn't do those roads in the past 8 years? Okay, so the food is there. The food is there. What's causing the price hike? Those are the things that we should look at. Okay, he came and met those things: bad roads, touts on the road. Okay, I mean, you go from here to Benue. That's where I come from. I talked about this recently. You buy a tuber of yam. A woman goes there to buy a tuber of yam to take to Lagos or Kano, for instance. From the garage, from the yam market, you have 10 to 15 touts. That falls back to a state governor. You on the way from the state, out of that state, you have touts on the road that collects every single money that poor woman has. Okay, by the time this truck gets to Kano, the price of your yam is risen. Is that the responsibility of Mr. President? Are the state governors doing their jobs? Who is taking the money? The state governors apply the roads every day. Are they saying that they don't know that townspeople are taking this money and making life difficult for ordinary citizens? We are Nigerians. We love this country. Can we be can we be honest about the situation? Others are not doing their job. Everything comes down to Mr. President's desk. Everything is Mr. President. What about the other guys who take money every month?
Okay, Mr. Teso, thank you so much, for your spirited insight on this conversation. Thank you so much. Wish you the very best. Thank you so much for coming today.